Aspiring to positions of power in the workplace while having a better work-life balance is just one of the issues that millennials and Gen Zers hope to push forward. Amanda Litman is the co-founder of Run for Something, a PAC that recruits young people to run for office. She's also created a guide for how people of younger generations can become effective, good leaders.
It's called When We're in Charge, the Next Generation's Guide to Leadership. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's look at our first tip. You say leaders need to be the thermostat. Can you explain what you mean by that?
We've got to set the tone for how we want our teams to behave. We've got to model the norms we want. We do not read the room, we set the room. I think it's really important for leaders to understand your team will take your cues from you.
Is there a reason why these tips are specific to millennials and Gen Z? I mean, we're all people and everyone was young at a certain point. What is that? What are those generations doing that other generations did not do?
I think a lot of it is about the technology that we're using in this moment, thinking about what the office looks like when it's a Slack chat or a Zoom room, or how to post on Instagram when your employees follow you there. Thinking about when you're using group chats to talk with your friends or your grandparents and also your employees, you've really got to be intentional about how you show up in these spaces.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's traits of leadership that cross generations, but millennials and Gen Z are dealing with a few different challenges.
And that leads to tip 2 is that to be a good leader, you have to be okay with people not liking you.
Yeah, I think about this in politics. Even the most popular politician who maybe has a 70% approval rating still has 30% of the people who are not particularly into them. When you have a position, when you're taking a stand, when you've got a goal that you're trying to accomplish, sometimes you're going to piss people off. You've got to be okay with that when you're going to be in charge.
You also say flexible work arrangements are good, and you say the future is the 4-day work week. Really?
Yes, I really do believe that. There's some recent research out of Korea, actually, that shows that folks overworking, in this case, they looked at people working over 52 hours a week, did literal damage to their brain chemistry. It hurt their brain matter. The 40-hour work week is older than the boomers themselves. We no longer need to hustle and grind our way out in order to succeed. I reject that to be the case. The 4-day work week or other creative ways of understanding scheduling and how we can balance work and life are going to be critical to making sure that people can be not just better employees, but better parents, better partners, and better citizens.
Well, the people that are going to work might like that, but some companies might say, we need you here. We need 60 hours of work. We have a lot of work to do. That hasn't changed, has it?
That's a failure of leadership. If you can't staff your company appropriately, if you can't schedule things appropriately, if you can't really set priorities and manage out things so that stuff can get done in 32 or 35 hours a week, that's on you as a leader. You've got to set your team up to be sustainable. It will pay off across the board. And like you as the boss are going to feel a little bit better too.
Yeah. One of your tips is to pay them money, which seems rather obvious. So why do we need to say it?
Because a lot of young people especially haven't been paid what they're worth. And I think we got to remember at the end of the day, work is an economic transaction. You got to pay people what they're worth. You got to make it a good, compassionate, effective space, but don't overstate what work is actually for. It can't be everything for everyone. It just has to be what it's meant to be, a way to provide for your family and give you the time and space to be a full person outside of it.
What about people just coming out of college, Gen Zers now? They might have an unrealistic expectation of what they should be making. Sure, everyone feels like they should make a certain amount, but should you be willing to accept something and then just show how much work and you can get to that what you feel like you're worth?
Again, I think this is about leadership. The responsibility is on the bosses, the executives, to set really clear expectations, to put salaries in job descriptions, to be open and honest about how they're getting to those salary levels, to make sure that they are market competitive. I think it is not unrealistic or not crazy for young people to demand more out of work, but I think it's on leadership to be clear about what they can deliver and what they can't.
All right, the book is When We're in Charge, and you can find more information at the website by the same name, and you can follow Amanda on socials. Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks for having me.